next month, I'm gonna make, yeah, I'm gonna do that next month, make an appointment with you guys.
What's going on tonight? This is for you too. But I can make it travel.
Semi-final game, first two semi-finals, women's championship. This is all the rules. And then the championship is say on Sunday. Keep us busy. 3 days, yeah, it's I'm used to people not doing it, not downloading it. When did you send them? Oh, okay, yeah, I was gone. Thank you very much. I couldn't find my stuff. Yeah, because I had thank you very much. That's right, the owner's right. Follow line.
I didn't realize you have to take him everywhere. Can't you just come by yourself? Huh?
See how he is?
I know what you're doing.
See?
Good seeing
See
you.
how he is?
I know, but I don't get to pick on him.
Dan, happy St. Patty's Day.
No, he's not.
Oh, my.
I don't see you often. Get out.
Good evening and welcome to the March 17th, 2025 meeting of Bedford City Council, and happy St. Patty's Day. If we would please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Salvi. Salvi.
Here.
Fluharty.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Asbury.
Here.
Longino.
Here.
Cochi.
Here.
Spinks.
Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of March 3rd, 2025. Any corrections? Seeing
There
none?
weren't corrections, but I submitted them to the clerk.
Yeah. Have a motion for acceptance by Asbury, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Salvi.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Asbury.
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi.
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of March 3rd, 2025. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty? Call the roll, please.
Salvi.
Yes.
Fluharty.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Asbury.
Yes.
Longino.
Yes.
Cochi.
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Tonight, we have a couple of presentations. First, I'm going to start off with the finance department. And I guess I can do that from right here since you're sitting there. And, every year, the Government Finance Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada presents an award of financial reporting achievement. And again, this year, we have been awarded that, which is awesome. It's also the 34th time that we have got that. 34 times around for financial reporting, which is awesome. And I know your predecessor went through it all the years he was here, and I'm happy to see you're continuing that streak of financial reporting, which is very important, so everybody knows our finances are in order, correct, and the way they should be. So Jennifer Howland, being our finance director, I want to thank you personally and your staff, because I know you can't do all this alone. And you got a great bunch of people there working with you. And I just want to say congratulations again on getting the award. You would like to say?
Thank you, Mayor. And there's not really much to say. I just wanted to thank my finance staff and for Local Government Services Division of the Auditor of State's Office for helping us get this award every year. I don't take the credit for this. It's my whole department that does this, and with the support of City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. You are welcome. Very good. If you can see in her office, around the office, all these plaques are plastered around the ceiling. It's pretty cool. And we have another presentation, but I'll come down front here. gonna happen with that, but I would like to invite Mr. Tim Taylor to come forward. I think most of you know this guy. Kind of saw him around a little bit. Channel 8 for,
I was arrested a couple of times.
well, that's the post office.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I want to present you with this proclamation. Whereas Tim Taylor was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and whereas in 1951, at the age of 8 years old, Tim Taylor and his family moved to Bedford, Ohio, and he attended 3rd grade at Glendale Elementary. And whereas in 1961, Tim Taylor graduated from Bedford High School. In 1962, he was on the radio in Ashtabula, Akron, and finally Cleveland. Couldn't hold down a job.
No.
And whereas in 1972, Tim Taylor worked for Channel 5 News as an action reporter. And whereas in 1977, Tim Taylor was hired by Channel 5 News and worked there until he retired in 2006.
Wow.
2006.
Yes. Right.
He won many awards, and while working for Channel 8 News, he always promoted his hometown of Bedford, Ohio. And whereas Tim Taylor has donated 40-plus years of radio, television, and school memorabilia for the exhibit at the Bedford Historical Society. From this exhibit came the idea of the celebrity roast. Tim Taylor, a star is Bert. I like that, not mine. So therefore, I, Stan Cochi, Mayor of the City of Bedford, on behalf of the City Council and the citizens of Bedford, recognize Saturday, March 29th, 2025, as Tim Taylor Day in the city of
I accept this on behalf of the Bedford Historical Society. I've always been a huge fan of history. I would stay home from school sick. Honestly, when I was in elementary school and watch political conventions, to tell you what kind of a life I led. But I've always been interested in that. I always had the highest regard for Dick Squire. What he did for this community is immeasurable. The fact that he started the Historical Society and that he sort of held up a mirror for all of us to look at who we are and where we've been and to appreciate all of that. And I'm just so honored now to be continuing Dick's legacy with his daughter. And I also want to mention that if you have time, please stop down there. The job that Jack Draga and his team have done putting together this exhibit of just dozens of boxes that I saved over 45 years. It's just amazing, and it's a journey through time. And if you love history, I think you're going to love this exhibit. You're going to see many familiar faces, people that you've known and loved over the years. It's miraculous. Particularly, they got this dummy and they put a suit on one of my suits. It's really something, actually it's rather frightening. Jack put a wig on him. We have to get rid of the wig. But, and I hope you can all come to the roast. At Jimmy D'Angelo's place, Sherwood Forest Party Center, I expect we're going to have, if you can believe this, we're going to have upwards of 400 people there. And a lot of celebrities and people that you've known over the years. So, you know what, I've talked too long already, and Brett warned me that my corned beef is going to be cold by the time I get back. Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
We won't hold you here, so. Also, I want to say hi to good friend of the city, former mayor Dan Posick. Thanks for being here. You kept this seat warm for me for a long time. It's good to see you. It's always good to see you. You're always welcome back. And again, I just want to say, go down to the Historical Society, see the display for Tim, and also just everything else they have in the Historical Society. If you've never been in there, you're really cheating yourself out of a treat. There's just so much stuff in there. And thanks to Betsy, the director of the museum, and Sandy's the president of the museum, so just get down there and see it. It's certainly worth a visit. Again, thanks to all of you, and if you need to go, you're excused.
You'll get that corned beef.
Take care, everybody. Good to see everybody. Take care, Dan. Good seeing you. This is Posick. Pardon? Tell her I said hello.
And Mrs. Posick, too.
John was saying something.
How are you?
Go get some corned beef. Yeah, there you go. Make them pay, too.
It's good to see you.
Okay, with that, we can, we'll get on with business. Under unfinished business, ordinance number 18-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a purchase agreement with Masetta Holdings LLC for the purchase of the real property located at 15 North Park Street in Bedford, permanent parcel number 812-13-060, and declaring an emergency.
And we need to have suspension. Motion for such by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
No.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
A motion for third and final by Smith, second by Longino. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. As the ordinance says, this is authorizing us to enter into an agreement to acquire 15 North Park, which was formerly the Nature Stone building. This property is roughly 104 years old. City had first inquired on this property in 2020. At that point, we didn't feel we were in the right position to pursue that, although today times change. We also look at this as we're making substantial improvements to the commons, and we also believe that a facility like that, being able to preserve the integrity of the commons is important with that historical component. The city would maintain ownership of that space. Short term, we would look to utilize the space while we pursue an end user that would complement the commons. Obviously, any final agreement would be subject to full inspections of the facility and other parameters that we would have to negotiate with the current owner.
Thank you. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Salvi,
No.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
No.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Passes. Thank you. Ordinance number 27-25.
Is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Carpet One for the replacement of the carpeting in the fire department and declaring an emergency, although I believe we're gonna have an amendment to authorize a contract with Carpet Country at a price of $16,211.37, correct?
That's
Can I get a motion to that effect?
By Asbury, second by Smith. Call the roll, please.
Selby,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
And also to note that the amendment allows us to go with a lower bid. We're saving almost $9,000 on carpeting for the fire department, so that's pretty substantial. Appreciate the diligence for the city manager looking into that. Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Selby,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Longino, second by Asbury. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. As mentioned, this is to replace the carpeting throughout the dorms, radio room, offices. Much of this carpeting is the original carpeting from 2003. It's gone through its useful life. The goal is, in comparing these quotes, while one of them was substantially less, they are all apples to apples. We verified all of the warranty information, all of the services as far as the removal of the old and disposal of the old. The city will also be purchasing extra, these are carpet squares, where when we built this facility, it was full carpet. Carpet squares allows you to, if there's a damaged area, you can out and fix it. We're going to be purchasing some extra supply of that. In the event that there's some damage in 7 or 10 years, we'll be able to replace it and have the matching pieces still available.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Selby,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Before we get into reports, I just want to say hi to good doctor from the school board.
How's everybody doing this evening? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming by, and if anybody got a school question after the meeting, although he's pretty quick. No, just kidding. But thank you for being here. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, I just want to compliment our finance director and our entire staff in the finance department. I'm not sure if it was, I know it was mentioned 34 years, but that was 34 consecutive years. That doesn't happen by accident. And it's good stewards of the public's money, conservative, and job well done, John. So please pass that along to all the staff members. Also, just want to touch on our Greencroft Culvert project is just about complete. That roadway is reopened. There's a number of restoration work that has to take place, some sidewalk repairs, grass plantings, as well as the city will be reclosing Thames, as we had stated when we had to reopen that route for the detour, the road for the detour. So we hope to have that closed shortly. Want to share that we had a pre-construction meeting with the contractor for the Commons expansion project. They were given a notice to proceed of today, although we don't expect work to start till March 31st. We were on site last week and we were on site again today, removing the mini station that was previously in that parking lot. This space ultimately will be completed in August. However, we're waiting on a more up-to-date schedule. The majority of the work is about 90 days. It's the reason it's extended into August is the timeline to take delivery of some of the large structures. The large swing structure, the pavilion that's going to be going up, that is upwards of 4.5 months, so that's why the timeline. But we'll provide regular updates on that. We'll provide updates on social media and announce when that's going to be officially opened. I want to compliment staff members for a couple of grant awards that we've received. One of them will fully fund our shred day and other recycling awareness activities. But the one item that was very exciting to get was county planning announced that they awarded the city of Bedford a planning grant, which will allow us to update our master plan citywide. So there'll be a lot that goes into that, a lot of public meetings, public input. Look for that information in the coming months. But it's definitely a win-win for the city to have that document updated. We are also applying for trail funding. If you recall, we did a TLCI study through NOACA last year. Our grant application is going to include a multi-purpose trail, pedestrian and bike trail from the Commons down to Viaduct Park. It's going to include sidewalks from Viaduct Park down Taylor, where there is actually no sidewalk in place right now. So we look to add walks at that area. We look to make improvements to our pedestrian crossing in the heart of our historic district. All of that was input provided by the public during those meetings last year. That funding is through the state of Ohio, and there's really no award date. I think they award as they come through, so we will be sure to have that submitted very, very soon. The deadline's not until like end of April, but we're ready to submit this week, and we'll keep everyone updated on that program. Lastly, a couple important dates. First and foremost, our town hall meeting, which is scheduled tomorrow night, 6:30 at Ellenwood. We're going to be talking about the former University Hospital site up there at 44 Blaine. That's going to really be an overview of the process, where we were, how did we get to where we are today, what are our plans moving forward, grant applications that we have out there, uses, zoning uses, our request for proposal that has been distributed and that has been out. For any of you that are interested, that is live on our website. You can see that under the city manager's page. And lastly, meeting dates, ward meetings. We have upcoming ward meetings again, where council representatives, mayor, as well as members of our administration team will be available for questions and comments, or just to meet and greet as well. On March 31st, it's wards 1 and 6. On April 14th are wards 3 and 4. And on April 28th are wards 2 and 5. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Law Director.
I've really no report, just wanted to congratulate Mr. Tim Taylor and the finance department and all of the staff of the finance department. They do a great job. I enjoy working with all of them. Other than that, happy St. Patrick's Day.
Ms. Holland.
I really have no report. Thank you for the compliments, and I'll send them on to the finance department, and happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Council, Mr. Selby.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Bedford Finance Department, congratulations to Jennifer and her team in the Finance Department for receiving the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Well done. The Tim Taylor Proclamation. Welcome home to former Ward 2 resident Tim Croft, also known as TV8's Tim Taylor. It is very generous of Mr. Croft to donate many of his career mementos for a display at the Bedford Historical Society, and agreed to be roasted on March 29th with the proceeds to benefit the Bedford Historical Society. As a past Bedford Historical Society trustee for many years, I know how expensive it is to keep up historic buildings in good repair and open to the public. Resident visits and calls. I responded to several resident concerns since the last council meeting. Thank you again to Michael, Debbie, and other staff members who have worked to resolve or in the process of resolving resident concerns. Residents on Avery appreciate the replacement of the no outlet sign and the building department review of the vacant residential property on Helper Drive. They also attended the March 4th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting regarding the proposed new $9 million J Honda automobile dealership development located at the intersection of Rockside and Bartlett Roads in Ward 2. The project is expected to create an estimated 70 new full-time jobs, according to the project architect. One Ward 2 Rockside Road resident attended the Planning Commission meeting. After the meeting, she inquired if the project included an additional traffic light, and the answer was not to the architect's knowledge. Bedford's tornado warning sirens. Mike, soon it will be almost a year since last year's tornado touchdowns in Bedford. Have our tornado warning sirens been tested to make sure they are operating properly?
During the last test, yes, they were.
Thank you. The new unsolved code red system sign up. As I understand, residents will need to register for the new unsolved code red emergency notice system because of the transition from the county's former ready notice system beginning April 1st. The Cuyahoga County Office of Emergency Management will send existing program participants a notification to register for the new system before April 1st. Board of Revision Formal Tax Complaint Workshop. There is one remaining county tax workshop, which is March 19th at the Strongsville Library. If you're looking for a job, the Northeast Ohio Business Career Fair is being held from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Cleveland Public Auditorium on March 25th. For more information, call 216-664-2905. Northfield Road shooting fatality. A Cleveland man with prior drug and weapons charges was fatally shot while his vehicle was crossing into Bedford from Maple Heights on Northfield Road, just north of the Rockside Northfield intersection. This is another example of our citizens and police officers are put at risk by dangerous thugs who reside in Cleveland but bring their violence and criminal behavior to suburbs all over Cuyahoga County. 813 High Street. Mike, you reported a few weeks ago that the owners of 813 High told you the ordinance violations would be corrected by the beginning of March. It is now March 17th and the property violations remain. Mike and/or John, since the homeowners have not complied with the city's notices to clean up their property, will the city now take them to court to enforce the city ordinances so my residents have a better chance of getting relief? If so, when will this case be filed in Bedford Municipal Court?
Yeah, I believe they will be cited. I don't have that exact re-inspection date. I believe it already took place, but I'll share that information in the weekly report for you.
Okay, thank you. Bay Market property, 607 Northfield Road. This morning I checked the progress on the cleanup of the Bay Market property. The property remains an eyesore, and the owner's progress in cleaning up the property is so limited and slow, it doesn't seem like they have any incentive or desire to get the job done. I can tell you, if the Croft family decide to take a drive by our old neighborhood, all members of the family will be shocked of the condition of the strip center, where I am sure Mr. Croft, his wife, and kids used to shop often at the pharmacy or Gina's Pizza. In fact, I've received over 100 written comments from the public over the past year, none of which approve of the property's current condition. All believe it needs to be cleaned up, and many wonder why the property was allowed to become blighted in their beloved Bedford. I believe the owner's ongoing failure to comply with city ordinances is a detriment to the health, safety, and quality of life of Ward 2 residents. Mike and/or John, have the owners been given a hard deadline for compliance of all city ordinances? And if so, what is that date? And how much longer will residents have to wait before the city initiates litigation?
The date is the same date in the initial report that I had provided. I can check on what that was. I know there were some minor items that they were working to address. The asphalt, concrete, retaining wall, the concrete around the sign, none of that is able to take place. I mean, last week was nice, but prior to that, they weren't going to be able to perform that work during the winter months. That wouldn't take place until the weather really broke. But I can provide those dates with you. I will just add that we did start this process over because it had transferred. While the new owner is subject to all of the violations, it would be improper to just cite them the minute it transferred and get them to court. We had to start that process. They have been responsive to where they actually came to City Hall, they met with staff, they have a full understanding of what their responsibilities are. They provided the engineering company that they had hired to inspect the retaining wall. So they are engaging us much more regularly, and actually way more than we were previously getting with the previous owner. As far as that date on the reinspection and the deadline to where they would officially be cited and have to appear at court, I'll review that ordinance, or the orders that were issued to them, and I believe it says that at the bottom. It's the same date, I believe, and I'll send that over to you.
Thank you. Are commercial and residential property owners allowed to keep broken down and/or unplated vehicles parked in driveways on strip center parking lots?
Commercial property owners?
Commercial or residential?
Inoperable or unlicensed vehicles, if they're of view, yeah, we can go, again, of view. For instance, we've received complaints where a vehicle is backed into the yard and someone says, well, it's unlicensed. Well, with the change in Ohio law, you don't need a front license plate. And it's illegal for us to enter someone's private property just to look at the rear plate. With that being said, if it's visual, and we can see that, and if a vehicle has a flat tire or something of that nature, then we can clearly address it like an inoperable vehicle, or even like unlicensed. But we can't enter private property to go and check like a rear plate, if that makes sense.
And this includes commercial properties?
Correct.
And can you go on commercial property, let's say a parking lot?
I'd have to engage with our police chief and law director and ask that question. There's gotta be a specific reason other than just, we really can't get into entering property just to look around for, to look for an issue. I would have to, obviously I defer to those two individuals before I give you an answer on the floor.
Thank you. Taft Park Playground. The Parks and Recreation Department will soon be breaking ground to get ready for the installation of the new playground equipment. Mike, do you know what the estimated timeline for the site work completion date and installation for the new playground equipment?
We should be done by the middle of spring. We hope to have the new equipment brought in late spring, early summer. I believe it's late spring is what they're aiming for. I know we're going to be finished because then we're going to redirect our attention to the Greencroft Park area, which we have a lot of site work to perform at that park too. So our goal internally is to have our staff get the site prepped at Taft in the spring, so then we can move over towards our planned improvements at the other park. So that'll be ready by the summertime, Taft.
Thank you, and a report.
Mr. Fluharty. I wrote this down now so I don't forget. Ward 3 meetings, April 14th. I know Mike said that already, just to remind everybody for my Ward 3. Mike, are we picking up shipper service starting in August? April?
Yes, April.
Okay, April, the first week?
First full week, and then it'll be the first full week of every month after
A
that.
lot of people got sticks out already.
Through October.
Okay. The veterinarian place, I seen fire trucks there about a couple weeks ago. What's going on up there?
We officially took ownership of that through it went through the tax foreclosure process. I believe the back taxes were north of, it was just under $100,000, $98,000. It went to multiple sales. That property's been condemned, obviously you know that. It's been secured, but condemned. Following multiple sale attempts, nobody acquired that, no one's gonna pay that. We received multiple quotes to tear it down. We really couldn't go after funding until we were officially the owner. So it was deeded over to the city. Now what we're looking to do is secure the grant dollars to take that, because it needs to come down. We'll take that down and then make that open space available we won't retain ownership of that long term. Fire and police have been there just to make sure that it's been secure. We actually attempted to, the schools had provided funding for our department to acquire a drone. And our staff are going through all the required training. There's a lot that goes into that program. We were considering putting the drone up into the building, but the roof collapsed. It was really bad shape. But that's what they've been up there to do. Just make sure it's secured, make sure there's no access points on the lower level, and look for ways, our goal now is to secure funding. That structure is, in comparison to some of the other structures that we've taken down, single-family homes range from $8,000 to $12,000. We took a property down that was about $15,000. The first quote we got on this was approaching $70,000 because of the brick and removing all of that debris. That's why we'd like to go after grant dollars, possibly through the county, so we don't have to spend our own money. We'd like to spend their money.
There's a lot of bricks there, that's for sure. And also congratulations, Jennifer, you and your staff, and to Tim Taylor, Bedford's own, Cleveland's own newscaster in the report.
Thank you. Mr. Smith.
Good evening. I'd like to say congratulations to our finance department. Continue to do the job that you guys are doing. I know that you have your head into this, so continue to do it. I know Frank is very proud of you guys too. So, I'd like to reiterate tomorrow's town hall meeting, which is at 6:30. Please come out, give your opinions as to what you would like to see around the city. Ask questions. Don't get it off the internet. Come get it first and foremost from the people who really know what's going on. April 14th, Ward 4 will be having their meeting, and that will be at 7 o'clock. Ward 4 is 7 o'clock, right here in the council chambers. In the report.
Thank you. Mr. Asbury.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, congratulations, Jennifer, in the finance department. What is his name? I'm drawing a blank. Previous. Frank. Wow, I'm getting old. Frank started a great thing, and Jennifer and her team are continuing with that. Congratulations to Tim Taylor. I actually went to school with his daughter and graduated with her. That's all. Great family. So last meeting, I recommended that everybody with the time change, and hopefully everybody made it through the time change okay, but to check your smoke detector batteries, and if you haven't, here's another reminder to go ahead and do that. With the warmer weather, solicitors will be out and about again. I contacted Deputy Chief Sutz. I believe he said he had one application that he's going through this week. The ones that were approved last year, I believe there was some from AT&T. Did that expire at the end of the year?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so basically right now, we don't have anybody that's permitted?
No, there was one that was permitted. I figured you'd catch me off guard, and I don't. It's one individual, and he was representing an energy company, I believe for like gas and electric company to promote savings. We did do, obviously, with all of our solicitors, full criminal background check and whatnot. And everything came back great, and he was approved. That was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, good. So at this point, we only have one that is permitted to solicit in the city of Bedford legally. There will be another one going through the process this week, and I'll report on that next meeting. Even if they are licensed or permitted in the city, you still don't have to open your door. Don't feel obligated just because they went through the process. There are some groups that are exempt from the solicitation laws. Elected officials, candidates can come around door to door. They don't have to have this. You still don't have to answer the door, but religious organizations and school organizations are exempt from solicitation policies. So if anybody else does come to your door, ask them if they're licensed, if you choose to open the door. If they're not, you don't have to talk to them. If you would, please call the non-emergency number 440-232-1234, and we will make sure that they either leave the city or they get their license. I just wanted to mention, I just read today, Tuesday, March 25th, the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections will be at the library here in Bedford from 12:30 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. And basically, they're giving people information on any kind of issues that are going to be on the primary ballot in May. I don't believe we're going to have anything from Bedford on the primary ballot, but they will also give out registration forms and accept registration forms. If you're not registered to vote, you can register to vote at that time, or if you change residence or addresses, you need to update that, you can do that. And they also have a lot of information on employment opportunities with the Board of Elections. So if anybody's interested in that, again, that's Tuesday, March 25th, 12:30 to 3:30 p.m. And, Mayor put together a committee, we announced it last meeting, for our quarter millennium next year, 2026. Those of you that remember, 1976 was our bicentennial year for the United States. And we had a lot of things going on in Bedford back then. So we're about to have our first meeting on Thursday, and we'll get some ideas put together. The mayor, Mr. Longino, myself, the Recreation Department, and we're going to put together some nice events for next year. So we'll be reaching out to the public for ideas also. That's all. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Longino.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, I want to thank everybody for the prayers and condolences. Almost a week and a half ago, I joined a club that nobody should want to join, and I buried a son. My oldest son in D.C. was 36, passed away. So like I said, I want no parents to have to join that club I joined. But thank you all for the condolences and prayers. My brother is the commissioner and also the coach for the Little Bearcats. I had a paperwork up here. First, I want to start by saying Coach Thomas is his name, and he doesn't have any kids here, but he's the commissioner and one of the coaches, so he's really into it. Starting on April 26th from 11 to 2, he'll be taking registration for the cheerleaders and also for the players. The players and cheerleaders are from ages 6 to 12. It's the Little Bearcats, and he still needs coaches as well, coaches for the cheerleaders. It looked like I could see a recruit right there, a cheerleader. For the cheerleaders and for the players. It's at Heskett School. I'll be saying this again by the next meeting. I'll be bringing it up a few more times. But it's by Heskett, by the shed over by the Bedford Heights Police Department, by Heskett Middle School. And his number, he told me to give his number out, is 216-254-8207. 216-254-8207, and that's Coach Thomas. So you can give him a call, or like I said, even if you call the rec department, then they have the information as well. I want to tell the service department what a great job they did. Hopefully they won't have to plow anymore, but who knows, we are in Cleveland. Oh man, I think I did right. Yeah, right. I always said when I talk to someone, I'm always like Sandy, when I was running, she said, make sure you return calls, make sure you return emails. So I always did it. And if somebody walk up to me, I'm really going to tell you. But a lot of times, I'm going to give you an answer, but it's not always going to be the one you want to hear. So I had a resident, I think it's Jeff Ward. I didn't want to tell him, don't call me, call Jeff. But I didn't do that, right? He called, and I saw him because he's one of my fellow track officials, and he told me he came up to me and said, why haven't they plowed my street? I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, they plowed. I said, well, we had a shortage on salt this year too, so that was one of the problems. So I guess I should have said this, but I figured he was a friend. I said, I don't have a CDL. I'm not going to be doing it. So I should have said that. I think that's what so he might be a former friend now. That's what I told him, but he got back to me that he didn't appreciate my answer. That was my answer. But like I said, as far as the service department, I think they did a great job this year, especially with the fact that we had a shortage in salt. But they did their job, and like I said, it's not an easy job, and like I said, but somebody has to be first, somebody has to be last. He even implied that he bet my street was done. It was done, but I don't think it was done any faster than anybody else's, But like I said, I did give him an answer, though he might have not liked it. I also wanted to touch on I got an email from a resident, I'm not gonna go on what the issue was, but I did tell him that this was an issue that was before I was in office, and was shot down. So, for me to bring it up, or me to even talk about it was irrelevant. So, but I did tell him to come here, and as I look around, I don't see him. So I told him, I said, if you wanna bring it up, that podium right there is the place to do it. To see Mr. Malice, to see the mayor and the rest of the city council people. But he wanted me to give my views on an issue that, like I said, was shot down before I was in office. But like I said, that podium right there is the place to do it, and make us think about it, you know? So like I said, if you're out there looking, you should be here or in the audience, but like I said, I don't see you. So, I think that's it. So I yield my time.
Thank you.
Mrs. Spinks?
That's for it.
Correct, you were here.
Happy, you forgot I was here? Thanks. I have a lot to make up for because I didn't have a report last time. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Most of us up here are very young. And Jennifer, congratulations, Finance Department. And you had some big shoes to fill. And it's good to see, and Frank had all the confidence, and it showed that his intuition paid off, because you're keeping those awards coming and keeping our city in good shape. Also, little congratulations out to our very own, a lot of y'all don't see him because he's behind the scenes, is our very own Jim Wagner, who is also on the board for, he's on the Historical Society's Board of Trustees, and he has been a big part of this roast that's coming up. A lot of the planning, this has been one of the biggest things that I know that me and Betsy have ever done together. Usually we have, in March, we have our reverse raffle, usually around 80 people. It's always been pretty well attended, and we've done okay, but this year we are looking, and as of right now, there's less than 40 tickets, and that's out of 400 that are left. At $100 a person, and all the proceeds of this will go to the Historical Society. So we just can't, me and Betsy, and we also have Lori Schroeder here, that we could, the store at the Historical Society, she works very diligently and is very profitable with that. Tim was like, well, everybody knows that Tim Taylor is also our former mayor, Dan Posick's cousin. So they approached Betsy a couple of years ago about donating Tim's stuff and everything, and then we didn't ask him. They came up, between Dan and Tim Taylor came up with this roast idea, and we just, me and Betsy were so excited about it, because it's been a lot of work for us, but less than this reverse raffle where we're already succeeded anything that we've ever done for the Historical Society, and just the publicity along and getting it out there, the advertisement for the Historical Society has just been, like I said, we can't thank Tim Taylor and Jim Wagner and everybody on the board and the committee for what they've done for this. I'm so excited about it. We'll be glad when it's over, but it's going to be hard to top it for next year. Getting back to Jim Wagner, his the company, the LPV production that he works for, and he does all our video up here. So he's in the back videoing this meeting. They videoed the Cleveland Crunch soccer team who won championship, and they're getting ready to go to playoffs again, and they awarded Jim and his boss with a championship ring. And this ring weighs probably about 20, 30, it's a lot, and so that's pretty cool. He doesn't like I said, he's going to be filming this there. If you're not able to make it to this roast that's coming up on the 29th, you will be able to buy a video of it after the fact. And so this is just, it's such an exciting thing. And this past Friday, our speaker series was our very own Mr. Johnson, Mr. Brett Johnson, a retired school teacher from Central, who's a big friend Bedford, got a bunch of stuff coming up at the Historical Society too, did a speaker series on potato chips. And we had 60, I believe I counted 65, 66 people there, and did real well on donations. But our next one is going to be, it's always the second Friday of the month at 7 o'clock in the community room. So check out what's going on at the Historical Society. It is a lot of new and exciting stuff coming up, new exhibits. Make sure you go see the Tim Taylor exhibit that's up, and the Underground Railroad. Jack's still working on that. A couple other things coming up. Let's see, we've got, also this past, last week, I have had the honor of being on the board of NOCA, which is Northeast Ohio City Council Association. And I've tried to get off the board several times. They won't let me. They continue to re-elect me. And Tony and Frank go to a lot of these meetings. They have them. It's all council people. And it's just, it's really cool because you're there. We have people from Strongsville. We have city people from all over the place. We have 34 different cities, municipalities that are in this organization. And this last one, we did like a breakout session, and there was 5 people to the table, and it was, our table was us, Bedford Heights, Maple Heights, and who else do we have? I'm trying to think.
That was it.
Where?
That was it.
Yeah, yeah. And so then all the other ones, and we had, there were Strongs were there was Wycliffe, Willoughby, all kind of different things. And so what you did is you discussed the problems. You had 5 topics of what the problems were. Of course, ours were deer, speeding, people leaving trash cans out. So a lot of the cities, even these great big, and we had in Independence at their rec center. And it was just pretty cool. And it was like, and then Euclid was talking about a lot of the cities, the deer destroying. And I will be having a very big topic at our council meetings or ward meetings, talking about the disease, the deer disease that's going around. It's pretty serious stuff. And begging people again, please stop feeding the deer. You're doing more harm than you're doing good. I know you say it's like, oh, it's a poor animal, this and that, but there's some serious stuff coming up, health reasons to stop feeding them. And they're destroying a lot of stuff. So we'll all have more of that at the ward meeting. Mike touched on Greencroft. We also, they did a great job. It did take a little bit longer than what they expected. Cold weather, couldn't work a couple of days. It's looking real good. New fencing stuff. They will, like he said, be coming back at the very end of Greencroft, or the beginning of Greencroft and Broadway, 2 water main breaks. There's a pretty bad one in front of a resident's house. I know that I spoke to her Friday and again the other day that they are working on it. It's right in front of her driveway. So thank you, Sean Francis, for getting out there and making it where she could at least get out of her driveway and be able to go to the grocery store or whatever. Please bring your trash cans in. Please, if you see trash has been, I've been back out slowly with my hand healing, picking up trash. Please do your part. I know it's not your trash, it's not mine either, but be a kind neighbor and get those trash cans in and pick up after yourself. In a report.
Thank you. Let's get on with business. A motion.
Yes, can we get a motion to approve the Planning Commission's decision to approve the Aaron Pruitt, owner, CFO of Peter James Behavioral Health, Inc., application for an occupancy to open an office that provides mental health and behavioral health services in a B2 district located at 767 Broadway Avenue in Bedford, Ohio. Can we get a motion to that effect?
Motion by Spink, second by Fluharty. A yes vote means you agree with the Planning Commission to approve it. A no vote means you don't approve. Call the roll.
Selby,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Now the work begins. You gotta get in with the building department and all that good stuff, so good luck to you and welcome to Bedford. We have another motion, Glenn.
Yes, so we also have a planning, can we get a motion to approve the planning commission's decision to approve Ronald Klukin of Klukin Architects to build a new automobile dealership at 18850 Rockside Road in Bedford, Ohio, which is located right at Rockside and Bartlett.
I have a motion for such by Longino, second by Asbury. This is the J Honda property that their sign has been up for quite a while. Finally, everything's aligning so they can go ahead with the build. We're happy to see that. Again, yes, you agree with the planning commission to approve? No, you don't approve. So, call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Ordinance number 28-25.
Authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Public Consulting Group to work with Ohio EMS leaders to assist the Ohio Department of Medicaid in developing an ambulance supplemental payment program for the city of Bedford and declaring an emergency.
We have a motion for suspension. Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
No.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Longino, second by Asbury. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. Public Consulting Group is actually, at the moment, the only vendor at this time that's been approved for the state of Ohio. They will assist the city in obtaining additional federal Medicaid funds, which will help us recover costs of our EMS transports annually. The estimated amount that we anticipate collecting annually is an additional $150,000. These funds will be earmarked for capital projects within the fire department. PCG, per the contract, would collect 10% of the additional funds that we would obtain.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Salvi,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochi,
Yes.
Spinks.
Yes.
And that brings us to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment.
Betsy Squire Lee, 76 Palmetto, and 30 South Park. Just want to invite you again all to the Historical Society, to our museum. The Tim Taylor exhibit is wonderful, but so are the other, we have 4 floors of exhibits in our museum. They're wonderful. We have an Underground Railroad exhibit on the 3rd floor. The 2nd floor is a lot of Victorian furniture, schoolroom, Richard Sedlin. 1st floor, of course, is Tim Taylor, and another number of other exhibits, a lot of tools and things in the basement. So please, please come and see us.
Thank you.
Barbara McDaniel, 186 Center Road. This isn't a city problem really, but the post office driveway going in is horrible. They have a cone sitting there, it disappears, and even when you go way to the left and hope nobody's coming out, it's getting bad there too, so I don't know what we can do about it, but it's, I think that gets bad every year or so.
Yeah.
That's,
And they need some maintenance help there. federal property.
That's federal property, and right now their money is tight.
I will say that we have communicated, Ms. McDaniel, we have communicated a number of concerns, that being one of them. I know the other item, I hope I'm not wrong and they didn't put it in today, but we've been, they removed the mailbox out front here because it was damaged. And that was supposed to be returned promptly, and it's been months. We've communicated with them as recently as last week, so there are a few concerns that we're working to address, and we'll discuss that with them.
And that reminds me, will your flag box be put back up?
Yes, the flag box was, I mentioned it a few months back. The reason the flag box was removed from out front and brought into the lobby,
It's in the lawn.
we did that because even though it says really big on there, just for flags, we were getting people's mail. We were getting their mail, their water bills, we were getting their electric bills, Christmas cards. We didn't, so we had to pull that. It's in the lobby now. We will put that back out there, but we're waiting until we get the mailbox back. And we did, for those who work, we did take those to the post office and mail them. We didn't throw them out. So they were mailed at Bedford Post Office.
Because the wind is really rough on flags this winter.
Cliff Wire, 73 Berwyn. I'm curious with the service department, if there's going to be any, I'm going to call it training, or when they go around checking lawns at the beginning of the year and recognizing the difference between a lawn that hasn't done first cut yet and a lawn that's out of control. 2 years now, I've come home prepared to mow my lawn, and I got a nasty gram on this thing because the neighbors cut a day or two before me. Last April, my neighbors cut on Tuesday. We had that rain on Wednesday, and my lawn popped. 8 million dandelions, because that's what Mother Nature does. And I come home Thursday prepared to mow my lawn, and I got a nasty gram on my window. And then I had to take a razor blade to get the glue off. Why do I have to do that? Does the service department not know the difference between hasn't done first cut yet and out of control lawn? The mayor, I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have brought it up at the Bedford Garden Club when you showed up there. You were off duty at the time, but it annoyed me.
Off duty.
It annoyed me quite highly that I'm getting this nasty gram. It's just because my lawn looks bad compared to the neighbors a day after a rain, and I'm just a day behind on first cut.
Yeah. I don't want to say, I guess in their defense somewhat, they don't know that you were planning to do it the next day, and that's not, but what they do, they have a stick that they actually stick in the ground, and it has to be above the mark, and if it is, they cite it, if it isn't, they go on.
What is that mark?
It's 6 inches. So that's what they go by, and and as long as you cut it, there's no problem with all other than a sticky thing on your window.
Well, yeah, but then I still have to use the razor blade to get the sticky off. And there's also, the nasty gram says, if it happens again this year, we'll charge you $100. So I got that hanging over my head, whether I deserve it or not.
Yeah. But that's why they do it, that's their job to go out.
Maybe to recognize that there's a difference between out of control and hasn't done first cut yet.
Right. And that's their guideline. They have to make a guideline somewhere. And that's what was determined. Yeah, and like you say, there's no penalty if you go ahead and cut it. Or call them up and say, hey, it's raining, I can't cut it for a couple days, and that's not a problem.
Except for the threat that it's hanging over your head if it happens again.
Yeah, but if you do it, you're not fined, so you wouldn't be as.
Well, there's still the rest of the summer. It hangs over your head the rest of the summer.
Yeah, I know. Anyone else? Seeing none, can I have a motion for adjournment? By Asbury, second by Longino. Call the roll, please.
Selby,
Yes.
Fluharty,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Asbury,
Yes.
Longino,
Yes.
Cochee.
Yes. Thank you for